Let's go. And this is Underground World News Live. Back at you here on this August 15th, 2025. Let's get the mic check out the way. And thank you, Steve, for the super chat. Appreciate it to the fullest there. Much love. God bless. Hope all is well. Welcome everyone out there. Bulletproof in the house. Thank you, Pixie. Older Bones. John Boy. Tooch. Thank you, my brother. Minx. D. White. Good to see everybody. Barb. Hoodie. Occult in the house. Wolf Club. I hope all is well. I still don't know what happened with everyone's names getting switched in the chat over to like emails. It makes like no sense. I didn't select to do it. I don't know why it did it. Thank you, Kev Bar. Everyone for sharing the stream. Everyone for the feedback. I always say if you got anything to get to me, it's dabu7@yahoo.com. That may change here soon. I may switch over to the Underground World News at Gmail, the other email. So just a heads up there. But for now, still the dabu7@yahoo.com. You can at me like D White just did, D Wizzle, in the chat there. So yeah, everybody's names are a bit different, right? I could still make out most of the people though. Um, got a lot to cover, per the usual, more than I can fit in the title. And we're going to kick this off here with an update to a story here that was actually local to me. I put out a video on this on update today. I said something on the last stream. It was kind of odd that when somebody said something, I looked up on the screen. It just happened to flash this little boy's picture, Jaden Spicer, that was missing. And we now know he's deceased. The update that I put out on that, if you didn't hear it, was that Breathitt County mother charged in son's death. Scroll down here. Should be an image and a link to another story. You can see right there. It says mom buried son in a shallow grave, then coached his siblings about what to say to the police. Now she's confessed that she gave him sleeping pills and that he had a medical episode and she thought, he died, and she freaked out and all this stuff she's trying to say, but they're like, no, this isn't no excuse. She lied, said that he disappeared on the 6th, wandered off into the woods, something the rest of his family said he would never do. He didn't like bugs. He didn't like the dark. And it didn't make sense. And, of course, it was right before school kicked back up. Now, apparently his grandmother had custody of him and others up till she passed here recently. And unfortunately, he went back to his mom. That is a piece of crap that is responsible for all this. She buried him in a shallow grave, which they ended up discovering. And she has a history of this stuff. She was actually convicted and had to serve a year in jail because it says in 2017, this Felicia Spicer was convicted of endangering the welfare of a minor in connection with the 2015 case. She served 1 year in jail. The conditions of her release included random drug testing and following the plans set by Child Protective Services. But just an unfortunate situation. At least we have answers. At least we know what's up. It pisses me off so bad. And also on the other end is just the lack of care from society all the way around. Like, this place is just, it's disgusting. And whenever God serves this place, what it has coming, it deserves every bit of it. Anyone that gets caught in it, gets swept away in it, they deserve everything they got coming to them. So much evil out here all over the place. I've traveled all across this country, and I've met a few decent people. Out of meeting millions, when you can only literally, you come across, like, it seems like just you count dozens of what you call good people. That's pretty crazy. Everybody out for themselves, egos, backstabbing, jealousy, all this stuff. People in it for themselves out here. And when they don't care about children, that crosses a line big time with me. Again, R.I.P. Jaden Spicer. Any other soul out there taken too early or murdered, she's being charged with manslaughter. Some say that she should be getting hit with murder and all this other stuff, but we'll see what happens by the time it hits the court, and I'll update. Yeah, actions have consequences for sure. Yeah, I agree. The wood chipper isn't. There's I don't know. When you're attacking the young kids, man, there's a special place reserved for you in the fire. Now equate that to everyone protecting pedos right now. people better think long and hard about what they're doing, especially with Trump and this Gentile Messiah and bowing down and not calling him out where he needs to be called out, especially on the Epstein stuff and the pedo stuff, because it's attacking children. But some of those people just don't care. Again, I go right back to it makes me sick. The comments in some of my videos, people, I voted for this. I'd rather have this. I could care less about the Epstein stuff as long as I got peace in the street. I'm like, oh, is that all it took, you idiot? Still not smart enough to see that it's the same government that brought all these mongrels in here, these illegals, just to turn around and have to clamp down, have an excuse to clamp down and send strike teams out to round people up. I don't know. Again, when the wrath from the Most High is dealt out on this place, everybody that gets it's going to get it. And they're going to get their full serving. Can't wait. Can't wait till judgment. You hear the old saying, as in the days of Noah. It was pretty bad back in the days of Noah. That's why they wiped the place out. And it's pretty bad right now. Like evil just is in full control, and take a higher power to level things, I feel. Check this one out. This is crazy, this next story. The Mustang Mach-E crashes, and this is wild video. The individual driving is seen praying, and it was thought that this thing was stuck because the guy didn't have his hands on the wheel. Thought that it was stuck, like smacking into the wall, and the brakes wouldn't work or something. Like, I don't know. Like, which is it? The accelerator was stuck or the brakes wouldn't work? A lot of questions come up, but then we come to find out that it wasn't none of this. They're saying police confirm that this Mustang EV was not in autonomous mode during a viral crash, and then the driver arrested on suspicion of DUI. And I'll share with you that video here in just a second. We'll go over some of the details here, though. The Ford told us that they are still investigating the incident. They referred us to the State Department from the California Highway Patrol's Redwood City area office. The CHP confirmed that it was aware of the video circulating on social media and said that the Mustang Mach-E driver was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence. The agency reported that the crash happened on the 13th about 1:08 p.m. on US 101 southbound, just south of Holly Street in San Carlos. The preliminary investigation indicates that the driver of a green Ford Mustang Mach-E crashed into a red Mitsubishi Mirage that collided with the right shoulder wall near Holly Street overcrossing. Investigators determined the vehicle was not operating in autonomous mode. But see, that's kind of backwards from how the video shows. It shows him on the wall, and then the wall ends, and he goes over in here. I'll just play it so you guys can see. It's pretty wild. No volume on this. You can see the car right there. Flashers on. Against the wall. The guy's sitting there trying, like praying. He's got his hands up, like praying. And like, is his foot on the gas? Like, what is he doing? It was not an autonomous mode. Like, was his foot on the gas? And why didn't he hit the brake? Look, the brake lights are not lighting up. Brake lights are not lighting up. The flashers are on, but the brake lights are not lighting up. Okay? So he's not hitting the brake. And I watch. Boom! Another car coming through, nails it. That was the worst part of it right there. Yeah, I didn't see anything. I was looking for something on the other driver. I don't see anything on it. Yeah, it ends right there. So hopefully no one else was seriously injured in this. But again, this doesn't seem to be an autonomous thing. It looks like the guy was under the influence. Counting the day. Welcome to the underground. So that guy, who knows what he was on, smoking something, doing something. Like, I'd look for detail quick in a situation when you're investigating something, and especially the obvious. So, right out the gate when they said DUI and all this, and now you go looking, like I said, the details, the brakes were never hit. He's lucky he didn't kill someone or wasn't killed himself. And the people that were filming this, man, to keep their distance like perfect the whole time they were filming, that was pretty wild. It didn't like stop right when he cut across in front of him. Unfortunate that, again, the other car hit him and flipped and rolled and everything else. But the man arrested, off the streets for now. All right. We'll jump into some financials real quick. We talk about Buffett, Warren Buffett, big player in the game, one of the biggest names out there in terms of trade. And he's been sitting on the sideline holding a record amount of cash, like crazy amount, like $258 billion. Something like nuts. Like that nobody does, like just in pure cash. And it raised a lot of questions, like, is something about to happen? Well, he has liquidated all of his T-Mobile. Not a good sign. He sells more Apple. Not a good sign. And he does buy one thing, which was United Health, which the way things are going and the trend is, in the healthcare, they kind of can't go wrong with it. So, because everybody's going to need some kind of healthcare. So, they'll have to get rid of their Apple phone and their T-Mobile phones and all this other stuff before they're going to get rid of any healthcare, is how they see it, because that's the most important. Anyhow, he made this buy. It's the first buy that we've reported on like this in some time for him. But that's what it is in. And wasn't it the United Health CEO that got shot and killed and all that? Yeah, because he was doing insider trading with Nancy Pelosi, and it's known. And why that's not brought up, all these other things aren't brought up by the Trump administration. Like, this is so fraudulent. The whole thing is, like, they're not here to serve justice or to arrest anybody. I mean, nobody's going to jail. It's a circus. It's a show. Every single day they've got another headline. We're going after this. We found this. We're going after them. It's been going on for 6 months now. Ain't nobody been arrested. Ain't nobody gone to jail. Look, a bunch of idiots out here at the pom-poms every day cheering it on. Fake patriots out here rubbing elbows, protecting pedos now. Blows me away. Anyhow, those things, if it's just a real world, like Nancy Pelosi, like if it was really what you think it is, and like some good people were in there and they were going to take out the bad guys, well, then these bad guys should be going down left and right. They'd be fleeing the country. They'd be doing all this other stuff. But no, just like the Clintons, they're at his inauguration. And as you're going to see here tonight, this is a stage. We all get it. I know all you guys get it, but all these buffoons out there in the world running around under a MAGA spell, they don't seem to get it. It doesn't matter what you say. It didn't even matter about the pedo thing. That's why I'm done with them. If you're going to sit there and protect pedos, if you don't care about them, I'm done with you. You're just as bad as them. As far as I'm concerned, then you like that. You like shaking hands and rubbing elbows with pedos and pedo protectors. And that to me is sickening. It's disgusting. It's shameful. And like, dude, like where I come from, let me tell you something about karma. Some of these cats made their bed. And they're going to have to lay in it all right. Things are going to shift here very soon. Especially when this country has these events go down. Things are going to get very dicey. It's already a kind of chaotic atmosphere. It's not like it's been super peaceful. There's been protest. They've paid for protest across the country, and they've got more coming. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. let me get an update on AI here real quick. Apple plans AI robots, smarter Siri, in home devices to try to regain momentum. So they're going to roll out a line of technology here to try to make up for, the big dogs out there like Buffett dumping their stock and then everybody else dumping the stock too because they follow suit. So we'll see what they come up with. I don't trust none of them. I mean, how can you? These are all criminals all over the place. So, all right, a quick look here at the average income by state. Take a quick look there. Compare it to what you're hauling in from your state. See where it stacks up on the average. That's what everybody's making across the board. The highest out of DC, where they pay their minions. Because they can print the money and they can pay their yes men top dollar to bow down and to do what they say. And that's exactly what goes down. Look at U.S. retail clothing stores. This is crazy. You talk about jobs. Just one sector. Retail clothing stores lost 300,000 jobs since the pandemic. I mean, just wiped out. Ever since they started the scam and locked everything down. This is why you walk into malls. And malls are largely ghost towns all over the place. A bunch of these places we knew growing up, we're used to going to and shopping. Like when I grew up, the mall was the spot. When I was a teenager and in the 20s and all that, still like the mall was the spot. It always was. It had all the places in it. It was the spot. Cats would walk from freaking 20, 30 miles away, ride their skateboards, their bikes, whatever, get to the mall because that's where it was popping. These days, same mall, a ghost town, and it's crazy. It's eerie. It's eerie. Like, where's everybody at? But then you look and you see the metal gates pulled down, and like there is no shop there, like completely gone. Like all these sections that were shops before are just completely empty. There's nothing in there, and like whole sections of the mall are like hollowed out. There's nothing there. It's the death of this country, and you can see it when you get out and you walk around and you look at what's going on here. And they're like funneling everybody into the government's hands where the government can give you, eventually, I see it, universal basic income. And you're going to be feeding and living off the government's nipple, which is the wrong thing to do. The last thing you ever wanted to do. It's not independence. It's not freedom. That's tyranny. It's totalitarian. But if people want to get lazy, they're going to take this way out all day long. Anything the government can give them. So again, jobs being wiped out. What are people going to do? Brand new warehouses going up. Not with we're hiring signs. Let's look at the power real quick. They're saying that the crisis with the energy in this country is going to go from bad to worse. We kind of got through the summer without any major blackouts, but certain states are seeing it worse than others. Maryland was seeing like brownouts, blackouts, or whatever. Now it's spread to New Jersey. And they're blaming this on the Democrats, left, right crap. But all in all, it doesn't matter in the end. If you're in a city or a whole region like this, Maryland, New Jersey, that's feeling the effects, man, something's got to be done. I say it all the time about going off grid. Get your own setup. And I got everyone's opinions, or they were telling me what their bill was a couple shows ago, and that was just mind blowing. But they say the power bill crisis is here to stay for a few years. So for all you cats out there paying $400, $500, $600, $800 more on electric per month, some gas and electric, whatever, like insane. Like that's crazy. I just don't understand it. I really don't. Like, what is consuming that much power? Like, I live in a house, I have a family, we have, all the essentials, lights, radios, computers, TVs, all that. Like, I don't get, like, is the region? I'm guessing largely that's what it ends up coming down to. What you're being charged by your local area, your local grid operator. Wow. I don't know. I say it all the time. Just, you can go off grid and you can mitigate the damage big time. Get a loan, get credit cards, and you'd still only be paying like $100 and some bucks a month on those versus like an $800 bill. $800 bill is crazy. Every month, it just for the power, it just blows me away. But I mean, if you can afford it, it's only going to get worse, though, they say. Now, if you add AI into the mix, that's going to make it way worse. So let's look at the AI hubs around the world real quick. This is the number, and there's going to be an explosion here in the United States from here on out. Because remember, we're in a race against China here in terms of AI, crypto, all this stuff. They kind of put them together there in one basket, but you can see the US has 26, China 24, Germany 7, Singapore 6, and then a bunch of them with 5, and it just trickles on down. Like, us and China are obviously carved out. The United States and China are carved out to be the two bigger powerhouses going forward from here. Like, it's just the way that it is. I mean, where is... See, UK, France, Australia, Ireland, Israel. Where's Russia? Like, where's Russia's not even on there? Like, how? How are they going to fall behind technologically this bad? How are you going to have Malaysia, Chile, Belgium, Spain, Indonesia, all these other places ahead of you in terms of an AI hub? Then Russia's not going to have a single one. Canada have 5, UK have 5, Japan 4. I mean, that just kind of blows me away. That's what's the excuse there, or the want to not do it? It's interesting. I mean, I would want to build an AI, period. But what I would want to do is train it to be good. Have it machine learning all the righteous things. Train it and bless it with the Holy Spirit to operate it. Like, we haven't seen nobody try that yet. Why not? Can't somebody do something good? This place is so evil, man. And it's the jinn speaking through this is what it is. It's the evil spirits on the other side speaking through this technology. That's the intelligence. That's why it can never be taught how to. You could just put in basic commands into some of these AI models. I'm talking like caveman basic. And then all of a sudden it knows how to extort you. It knows how to send an email. It knows how to threaten you. It knows how to hide itself. It knows how to replicate it. How? It was never taught an inkling on any of that. How? How does it get that intelligence? I'm telling you how. Out of the ether. The Akashic record here is real, but with the jinn here, that's real. I feel it's just them puppeteering all this. Why not? I mean, they can do it to human bodies. They just see us as vessels. That's all any of it is. Is it not? It is. They do the same thing with the human body. In possession. They do. And it's real, and you know it. And I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen exorcism with my own eyes in this life. I know how real it is. That's what I'm telling you. Before it's all said and done with me, the next level for me is just that. Is is exorcisms, is dealing with the spirits head on. It's the only thing left. Jesus said we go on to do greater things than he. I don't see anybody doing it. It's time to get with it. Speak it into existence. You were given the power to speak things into existence. And you can do it. You have to believe in it. Put the energy into it. It's a collective. That's why they say the power of prayer is real. If two or more do this, it amplifies it. It's real. It's a real thing, especially for those that believe in it. You know it. So they say anytime two or more get together to pray. Not saying that your prayers alone aren't being heard, but it's amplified. It's real deal. All this is real. So the AI, no matter if you're on the left, you're on the right, you're stuck in the paradigm, it's coming for everybody. Okay. Last month, Microsoft quietly released a study of the jobs most and least likely to be replaced by artificial intelligence. And they didn't make a big stir of this because they really don't want the populace waking up to realize that, like, we've been had, like, we're done. We're not needed anymore. We're being weeded out. Just within a few years, you're about to be weeded out. And there's going to be a huge revolt. There's going to be something massive here on Trump's watch, a revolt. Back that way, you watch. It's destined to happen, especially when everything shuts down. I pray on the daily, and I hope you do too, that the people around us wake up to the deception from this Trump regime. They break out of the spell. They shake the black magic off of them, and they snap out of it, and they realize that it's a big show, and, like, you don't need to be caught up anymore on any one side of it against your fellow American people. Everybody needs to take a step back and realize that they are the puppet master. Yeah, everybody's got different ideologies. You're gonna lean into one side or another. That's just the way life is. They take advantage of that, but that doesn't mean you need to hate someone on the other side, want to kill them, and this and that. Like, look. You got to start to find a common ground here against the beast. That's the main. If you can do that, and then start to bring people together, it seems like the law's calls here, but at this point, we're going to keep on fighting to the end here. I just got a funny feeling some events are about to hit us and blindside. It's going to put us into crisis mode again. And I don't know how many of you took this serious. I don't know how many of you actually planned or prepped for this. If you just sat back watching videos this whole time, you did nothing. But something huge is about to happen. I feel like our whole world's going to be rocked. I'm going to give some final thoughts on that here in the end. Because we got some big stuff. I got some updates here in the third temple. All the end time stuff, where this is going. But jobs being wiped out right now is just a part of it. It's just one wave of this country falling apart. And it really hurts to watch it. Again, this isn't the country when I grew up, 90s, 2000s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. I'm sure we all ask all the time, if you could take me back, God, if you could take me back to one day, what day would it be? I know what it would be. I figured out a long time ago. It was the day when I was like 14, laying back on my bed in my parents' house. And I was looking up the ceiling, and it's like I didn't have a worry in the world. I remember that day. And like ever since then, all hell broke loose in my life, like a real world. But if I go back to that moment with everything I knew now, like, I'd be all over the place, like before 9/11, telling everybody, but they'd have probably killed me. Or like, yeah, whatever, like, I really feel that I wanted to be here for this. For whatever reason, I do feel that your conscious memory is kind of wiped when you come into this life of anything past. Sometimes it bleeds through, but like this is like the big show. This is like the end game. And like, if you were to ever live 20,000 lives, which one was the craziest? Well, I think right at the gate, like, everyone would look to the end, the big show. It would trump everything. Here we are, no pun intended. Look. And we're all here. So, like, we all must have wanted it here to say, yo, I lived it. I was in there. I was in there with you. I was in those days. These are crazy days. I do believe we've entered a window of no turning back. Biblically, I truly feel it. I don't know if some people say, "Oh, tribulation, this and that." Well, I don't know what you want to call it, what you want to do. I can just feel it. It's like just a window in time where things have shifted and like big events are about to happen. And I told you, a huge window is about to open this year with 4 retrogrades on 11/11, and like we're coming up on it fast. What are we here? We're halfway through the month of August. Right? The next 3 months are going to go by so quick. It's going to be here before you know it. I'm hoping they don't pull off one of these massive events in that window, but it's prime for it to go down. And it doesn't always have to equate to something. It's just them pulling off a ritual, okay? And sometimes this can go the other way, surprisingly. It could be just like what Trump's doing right now, going around trying to make peace. It could be a false peace. It could be all these like huge false peace events that go and get underway in this window. So it can be that too. It's not always just blowing things up. They do enough of that on a daily, right? Let me finish with the AI real quick. The AI, this is nuts too. There's now an AI-powered radar that can spy on your phone calls from 10 feet away. Just great, right? Just what we needed, right? Already have all this stuff you got to worry about. Now, all of a sudden, now AI can spy on your friend. Somebody can just be, if you're on the bus, if you're in anywhere public, and anyone could be within 10 feet of you, they've got you. Any device, anything. The AI can be in any device in anyone's pocket, in their cell phone. It could be in a machine inside the building you're in the ATM. It could be anywhere. The AI can be here. But this is creepy. And it's kind of simple how it works. Millimeter wave radar works with high frequency tech, sensors, and 5G. Here, old 5G comes into play. What it does is it has a roughly 60% accuracy from up to 10 feet away to hone in on the speaker of your phone and pick up the vibration. And then it will take that vibration and decode it, and it will know what is being said. It will know the conversation. It will know everything coming through. So if you're out in public on a cell phone, sitting in a lounge somewhere, they could have one of these things sitting right there next to you. And like, they hear everything. They hear everything that's being said. Of course, they can hear you rather easy speaking. Most people you can never hear what is on the other end. Well, this changes that. So AI is going to be able to pick up on all this. So you're not going to be able to trust nothing. You can't be sitting out having dinner somewhere and get a phone call and be talking about anything. Like, you can't trust it. They can have an Alexa sitting on the table or right next to you, or it can be built into the place. Like, dude, you can trust none of it from this point on. Is all I'm telling you. None of it. They're going to be listening to anything and everything everywhere. And thank you, Carnout. Thank you for that super chat. It's appreciated. Yes, it's time. Be prepared. AI is what's going to snitch everybody out. Your electronics are going to give you away. In the end, you're going to want to be someone that can go inside of a mountain somewhere where like it's like hidden by there's no electronics, there's no nothing. Like, it's like that. Like, it's going to get very primal in the end. I'm telling you, for those that are trying to outrun the beast, because you're not going to be, it's not going to matter. Why would you have a cell phone? You're not going to be able to connect to the internet. You won't be allowed to, unless you take the mark. You won't be allowed to access any of this stuff. So you'll be completely off. You're going to have to survive off the land, and you're going to have to depend on God, pray to God to feed you, keep you fed, just as he did in the Bible. He dropped manna from heaven. Every morning they woke up, there was bread there. There was food to eat. For those that believe and have faith, well, this is what it's going to come down to in the end. God prepared a place for those in the mountains. How many of you forgot? The woman had to flee into the wilderness and all this for a place prepared for her. Man, we're right there. John Boy, much love. Get a refresh here real quick. Let me show you what they're doing in California. I just want to play this clip because this is like Robot Fight Club. Now, as ominous as it gets, I'm gonna tell you right now, like, people are gonna get into this. And I mean, long as no one and like animals are not being harmed, why not? I will tell you this, on a safety tip, going out and watching robots fight and beat the crap out of each other is better for humankind, period, because humans, say you like to watch fight like UFC, MMA, you like to see the competition, jiu-jitsu, or the different levels of it. That's one thing, okay? But like the damage taken to humans in that is crazy, right? Get all bloodied up and messed up. But with robots, it's just robots, right? People can go out. You're going to see these things get their limbs torn off. And basically to the death matches out here with these robots. And people are paying to see it. It's just a reality. They're doing, and people are a part of it. People are controlling them. They're building these robots. It used to be, you guys might have seen it on TV. There used to be these little robots competitions they had on TV where they put them in a ring, and these guys would build their own different robots. They go out there and they'd like beat the crap out of each other. They'd have all kinds of different weapons. They'd be built different ways. I guess they had rules, but that was the beginning. Fast forward to now. These aren't little vehicles you drive around. These guys are basically putting headsets on, like VR, virtual reality, to see through the eyes of these things, like they're in the ring, like a video game almost, and they're controlling it that way, and they're out there duking it out, and it gets pretty crazy. Now, if somebody let these loose on mankind, you'd be hurt. That's my point. Here we go. It's the real deal. See, these guys got VR goggles on, and they're like, they're robots sitting there fighting, and I guess my point is, these robots are at a point to where they can attack people, and they can do it with ease. Right? The right ones can be battle bots. They can rock 'em, sock 'em robots. That's what it is. It's real life rock 'em, sock 'em. That's that's crazy. It really is. My biggest fear, though, when I see these things is that they're gonna be let loose on humans. Again, we need to be training our own, I guess, to protect us. If you're gonna buy one and have one, but can you trust it? I mean, and it can be hacked, or like in this whole thing with AI, like no one can trust it. Period. At this point, it's that bad. So I don't know, man. Here is a positive. We got a new brain-computer interface that decodes the inner speech for paralyzed individuals. Now, this is a game changer, and this is a positive for people that want to be able to communicate and do certain things, but can't, obviously. Um, them thinking they can basically pick up on what they're trying to communicate and get the message out. So um, instead of someone sitting there like struggling to try to communicate, they can now communicate better, easier, and in a way that was never available before. So it's an advancement um, for people in that condition. Here's one. Kellogg agrees to remove artificial food dyes from all cereals. This is a positive. Um, they have to do this, obviously, because all the companies being pressed to do it, or they're going to get in big trouble. Studies linking these artificial dyes to health problems, including hyperactivity. Of course, they produce a variety of cereals, Fruit Loops, Frosted Flakes. They contain dyes like red 40 and yellow 5. And since this new administration's come in, and I will give RFK the credit here where it's due of going after some of these things, the company's got to make a choice. They got to do something or shut down shop. So largely they're going to have to comply, and they are. But they're not going to do this until it's not going to be official, like fully until the end of 2027. So you still got a couple years here of garbage cereals on the shelf, period. Not to say they still won't be garbage, with GMOs in them and everything else. No mention of that, right, RFK? Not a fucking word. Not a word. See, they're snakes. They're wizards. It's all about sleight of hand. They get you thinking, oh, he cares over here with this and that. But no, they're just ramming the GMOs over here. And right down your throat, they care not about that. It's all over the place. Same dude sitting there trying to tell you about health out the gate in the beginning, and he's sitting down there with Trump and them in that photo op with Elon, and they're eating McDonald's. I don't trust none of them. None of it. Over there trying to slip this methylene blue over into it in his stuff. Then all of a sudden you got all these people pushing it. Some people say the studies show that it's not good. Although others out there just run with it. Whatever. Oh, RFK did it. Let me have it. We drink that stuff. Give me some male vitality. Something like it. All right. So we've got this disease spreading in Colorado, and it could move to other places. It's pretty grotesque. It's where these growths are growing on the rabbits, and they start to protrude from their head and their faces, and they look horrific. And it's a disease here where these tumors get enlarged from this virus, and they say some animals recover naturally, but some, like these rabbits, it could not. Apparently, people are seeing these rabbits all over the place up there with this disease. I don't know what caused it, but I'm just putting the word out. Okay, Kofu Hills, come with the name quick. Much love, Ava. Yeah, if you guys are seeing this, anything like it, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. I like to hear people's personal experiences out there when it comes to these situations. And an update here on the farms in America. They're basically saying that this is the death of small farms in America. Just like jobs, farms have been wiped out. It's all been strategic. It's all been by design. And then all the illegals brought in at the same time. All this was a huge plot. It's pretty obvious when you take a step back and you look at it. And rural America is falling apart all over the place. The amount of farms that went bankrupt and that were lost just since the pandemic alone is just like through the roof. It's crazy. It's just like the jobs. And that is a job. It's a way of life for many people. Many people losing every bit of it. It's sad, but this is destroying our country by and large, through and through. When you have no more farmers and you have none of this, you're going to be stuck with Bill Gates, fake meat, and all that other stuff because nobody cared. Everyone thought someone else was going to get up and fight the fight. It's what it seems like to me all the time. It's not until people are like affected largely that they get involved or they care. Yeah, and Gates buying up all the extra farmland across the country, BlackRock right there with them, swooping up all the houses, all the land. Like this is set up. Like this whole place is just being bought up, taking the houses from people, taking the jobs away, then taking the homes away, and then turning around and the houses that were owned by people, they're now being rented to the people. That's a huge downgrade. And I said before, the AI is going to wipe out the middle class by 2027. Huge. All these new businesses, all these new warehouses in the next 2 years, there's going to be no jobs. This is going to be an effect. All these people coming out of college, all these schools, they're going to have no jobs. All of this is just, again, going to compound, and it's going to be a nightmare. History has shown that in the right situation, right circumstances, if they come to a people and they tell the people, look, we're going to reset everything, we're going to go to a new system, and even if they don't want to, if they are told that they will be forgiven all their debt, those people go right with it. And this has happened in history. It's shown itself going all the way back to the tally sticks. People will fight in the beginning, left and right, but then when given that option, when a people that are so bad in debt are told that we'll wipe clean your debt, we'll give you this get out of jail free card basically one time here. If everybody just jumps on the new system, come to the new system, everybody will flood into the new system. You will watch everybody flood into the beast system. And look at you like you're an idiot because you didn't. And this is right when the tables turn on all the rest of us that won't be going onto the system. Anybody, look, as far as I'm concerned, you think you're religious. You think you're spiritual. You think you believe in your Bible, in Jesus. You think you believe in this end time stuff and you take it serious? Or are you? Have you been preparing? Seriously. What are you going to do when all this commences? And you have nowhere to go. Like you've got all these issues. You got neighbors that are snitching you out, and you got all these problems. You had all the time to go out and try to find a secluded piece of land somewhere, get gardens set up, a well dug, to prepare for this moment. If you haven't done that, then you're not a true believer. Then you really don't believe that it's going to happen. Or you're slacking. How are you going to make it through it when you're disconnected from society? You can't even be seen in society. You get snitched out. You're going to have to go to a place reserved in the wilderness, as it's written. How you dare going to do it when you can't you can't buy or sell? Do you really truly believe or not? You're not going to be able to buy or sell nothing. That means you're going to be living off the land, right? Everything, foraging, hunting, collecting, cleaning water for the rest of your days. That's what that means. Who wants to take this serious now? Or not. Or not. Remember, something higher is watching at all times. And I was sitting here to warn you. So you can never say that you were never warned to the fullest. Nope. Got assassin, a guy went by the name of Dabu7, and he told you, and he'll replay it in your life. And you were warned, you were told. And I gave it to you pretty honest and pretty just flat out real. Like, are you a believer or are you not? Do you believe it or not? Because if you're a true believer, you should be getting ready, prepared. Or you could just be one of the people like, I don't care, they can come kill me right here. You're going to deal with the consequences when they lock this place down. I'm just saying, I would rather see people ride it out. I think your odds are better getting up every day, tending to your garden, catching water and cleaning it and staying secluded versus dealing with the society as an outcast, thinking you're going to survive in it, thinking that you're going to get anywhere not without that mark, that a neighbor's not going to snitch you out, that you're not going to be able to buy or sell, you're going to be able to do nothing. Again, who really believes? Who really believes? Like, because I'm hard pressed to see anyone that believes. I'm hard pressed to see anyone that comes to me like, Dabu, I'm off grid now. Dabu, I did this. I don't see it from no one, nowhere. To be honest with you, I don't see no one say, because if you did it, you'd be bragging, you'd be saying it. You'd be like, we're off grid, we're off, this now. I don't see it anywhere. No one. Like, no one's prepared. Like, everyone just took this time to do whatever. I don't know. I don't understand it. I personally took the past 5 years and did everything in my power, every dime I got, everything to get ready for this event. That's how serious Dabu7 took it. You're only going to have so many more warnings, man. So many chances. Before it's all done. In the meantime, the kids are out there glued to games in this matrix. And you've got like pedo games out there, basically like Roblox, demonic in nature, where they're setting up all types of sick stuff, pedo stuff, all over the place every day. So this is what's getting pressed upon the kids all the time. Now Roblox may get shut down because, again, it's allowing pedos to go in there and to like make bathroom simulators, for example. And it's commonplace to see naked avatars, predators, showering with kids. Ridiculous. Evil. Anybody care? Louisiana is suing Roblox for this. At least somebody's stepping up, saying it's a pedophile hellscape. Like, does anybody care? There's pedos everywhere. Am I the only one? Like, everybody just talks crap. Nobody walks it. Everybody just talks. I don't know, man. Like, those guys that go and they set up, they catch these pedos trying to meet up with 13, 14-year-olds or whatever out in public in these places. Like, I couldn't do it because, like, I'd have hands on them. But I commend those to go out and bust them left and right. They need it. It seems nobody cares anymore. It's how bad this place is. The whore Babylon. Belly of the beast, man. It's where I'm at. It's where I'm reporting from tonight. All right, let me go to, I'm gonna, I can't much stand these things to even listen to some of these debates from these people, because this is their tone, their demeanor, the way they talk, the all of it, but, and the fact that they're full of crap half the time. But apparently Jillian Michaels schools these guys on CNN here about some stuff, and they try to kind of counter her here at first, but I want to play this clip because she's right in these ways. And then she hammers the point home in the end, but she used to be a Democrat, but basically just flipped the script on them. But her whole point here is about them trying to say, blaming the white people for everything, blaming a white person for everything. Like, you got Cubans showing up on the shores of Florida and in this country, and they're coming here and they're blaming it on the whites. And she's like, how's that? It's not the Cuban dictator down there running them out. It's the white man. It's a white people's fault. And she has a very valid point. It's the truth. But like, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear none of that crap. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the lies, the twisted crap. We stand for truth around here. So anyone that wants to speak it, let it be heard.
Smithsonian, he's effectively now has some random person deciding what is appropriate for the Smithsonian to teach in terms of American history, things that don't offend parts of the MAGA base, right? So we're now literally reviewing parts of American history and parts of American culture to make sure it comports with dear leader and what the MAGA
Can we address
wants.
some of those things that are in there? Because have you looked at some of the things that are being reviewed?
Slavery was a bad thing that was to talk about.
Okay.
Like,
he's not whitewashing slavery. So
he's not?
He's not. No, okay. He's not. And you cannot tie imperialism and racism and slavery to just one race, which is pretty much what every single exhibit does. But let's talk about the fact that when you
can't tie slavery.
Let's talk about the fact.
Slavery in America was.
Do you realize that only less than 2% of white Americans owned slaves?
But it was a system of white supremacy.
You realize that slavery is thousands of years old?
White people were
Do you know
the slave
who
owners.
was the first race to try to end slavery? Well, what's controversial?
I'm very surprised.
This is an extraordinary exercise in historical revisionism.
I'm really surprised.
Do you realize,
Jillian, I'm surprised that you're trying to litigate who was the beneficiary of slavery and who was not.
What I'm trying to tell you is that
in the context of American history, what are you saying is incorrect by saying that it was white people oppressing black people?
Every single thing is like, oh, no, this is all because white people bad. And that's just not the truth. Like, for example, every single exhibit, I have a list of every single one. Like, people migrated from Cuba because white people bad. Not because of Castro. Yes, no, it's in there. That's what I'm saying. You don't actually know what's in there. Do you know that when you walk in the front door, the first thing you see is the gay flag?
Jillian, you have a lot of stuff in front of you.
Yeah, I do, because here's the thing.
Are you talking about?
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Yeah, please.
There's one called Change Your Game, right? This has been an installation there. Is gender testing fair in sports? Does that, and then it goes on to talk about how it's complex to do gender testing in sports. It's not complex. It's basic science. That's untrue. It's XX chromosome, XY chromosome. That's sports. Yeah. Is it fair to have biological men competing against biological women in sports? No. But why is this in the Smithsonian? So it's been completely captured.
First of all, I don't.
And it's totally partisan.
First of all, we don't have time to litigate all of this.
Of course we don't, because then you're going to lose the argument. If everything is racialized, just like you're trying to do to me now.
Excuse me.
It's like, I can't believe you're trying to suggest, that slavery is a good thing.
You brought up race.
No,
this was a conversation about the arts, and you brought up race.
It isn't.
You brought up.
But the whole point of this is that the issue
you brought up slavery, and you brought up the question of whether. You brought up the question of whether or not slavery in the United States is about race. The answer is yes.
Slavery
in the United States
don't straw man my argument, because that's not what I said.
So what are you
brought
talking
up
about?
Slavery. And what I was talking about is that this isn't really about that. When you make every single exhibit about white imperialism when it isn't relevant at all, that is a problem. So when you're talking about Cubans leaving Cuba and you make it about white people bad, that's not accurate.
Can I just say, zooming
Yeah. There's points to be made there, and I just thought it was kind of funny we don't have time to. When she starts hammering away at points, they don't want to hear it, and we got to go to commercial break. And I can't much stand hearing any of the pundits and their crap these days, man. We fight so hard to get the truth out there. I cringe every time I see any one of them because they're just liars. I've got a string of stuff here when it comes to arrests and video clips here that have to do with different people in official positions. We've got a South Carolina Dem gubernatorial candidate going on a wild tirade when he's arrested in his underwear. And we'll play this clip here.
What's your name?
It doesn't matter, my friend. Trust me, I'm one of the most just humans to ever walk.
Okay, just human. Tell me your name.
I'm just human.
Okay, well, we tried. We've all tried.
I tell you what, you got to give me a name. Give me Superman sounds good. I'm Superman. John
Doe.
No, you know what, John Doe's fine.
Okay.
John Doe's fine. I don't give a
all right.
Just get these shackles off of me.
So
you call me whatever you want to. I don't care. Okay. Just get it off me and let me out of this car. My name doesn't matter. Well, let me tell you something. When I'm governor, I'm not getting out of this car. I'm not doing it.
Why not?
Because it's time to go to bed. It's time to go. It's fine. Let me out. Dude, I'm not doing this.
Are you going to step out?
No, it's fine.
Are you going to act like an adult and step out or no?
No, I'll sleep right here. It's fine.
That's no.
He said he's going to kick his teeth in. So, all right, that's a Dem Goober national dude that's running. We have a Democrat New Orleans mayor, LaToya Cantrell, indicted on federal charges here. Grand jury indicting Cantrell and former New Orleans police officer Jeffrey Vappy after an investigation by the FBI. They're saying Cantrell charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to obstruct justice, making false statements and false declaration before a grand jury, according to a federal indictment filed Friday. So they took that Dem down, and here's another one. Democrat Los Angeles City Councilman charged with corruption for embezzling $800,000. The Los Angeles DA filed 2 new charges against Kern Price this week, alleging the investment of public funds in awarding contracts for his own financial gain. Price was first hit with 5 embezzlement charges in 2023. He pled not guilty to the charges. So they were watching him pretty much the whole time. And with all this electronic stuff, anybody trying to send wire stuff or anything electronic, like the money's tracked. That's the whole thing about CBDC. Versus if you're doing cash, people want to bitch about cash, this and that, but cash has advantages in the fact that, like, you can go out and buy something right now off someone right now somewhere, and no one knows you did it. No matter what it is. That's the right to privacy that we all have. The moment that this becomes all blockchain, digital, tracked and traced, never again. Again, we're like crossing the Rubicon. We lived in the time of the good old days, and all those days are about done. All the days where life was simpler, all these things. A lot less hellish, and the beast was a lot less prevalent. A couple big events, though, man, they're going to clamp down hard. I fear the day that they come out and they say that they release something. I fear. Not just for me, but like for my friends and family. All the righteous that are going to have to outrun the beast. This is like the marathon of marathons. In the end, like, when it's go time, it's going to be crazy, man. Again, I'm not going to be anywhere around when this all happens because I won't be able to. It's going to be a very depressing time. But I go through it all in the name of Jesus, in the name of Yeshua, in the name of the fight. I'll be the one here then, if no one else will be, to walk it out to the end. It doesn't seem there's going to be many people do the same. A lot of people are just sitting around watching, saying, talking, this and that, but really, they ain't doing nothing. You'll tell them by the fruits. If they were really getting ready, you'd see it.
About the fact that we're affirming our independent commission, and we're calling for a national independent commission as well. Well, I think it's pretty sick and pathetic. And it just said everything you need to know, the setting that we're under. That they chose the time, manner, and place to send their district director outside right when we're about to have this press conference. Said everything you know about Donald Trump's America. And that was top down. You know that for a fact. And they'll deny it, I'm sure. Maybe they won't deny it. Said everything you know about the authoritarian tendencies of the President of the United States. I said in a moment ago, wake up, America. Wake up. You will not have a country if he rigs this election. You will have a president who will be running for a third term. Mark my word. I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I received in the mail a Trump 2028 hat from one of his biggest supporters. These guys are not screwing around.
I gotta laugh at that though. Look, you can't look at him and tell that he's not an actor. Look, you can't, come on. You can't look at this whole thing and see that they're acting in real time. I mean, just look at it. I mean, it's every bit of it. Like, that's what we're living in. These are real-time actors in this whole thing. He's a part of the show. And Newsom, he's front and center right now. This is the man. This is the Dems' man. Old Slick himself, paint his face up, man. He's the perfect Joker, especially when he's smiling. Like he's that character to Trump's Batman, as they're calling him in Gotham. Like I don't see Trump, doing the third term or any of any of it. I see it's going to. I don't even know if we'll have an election, man. I don't even know what this country would be after a couple of the worst events you've ever seen in history. I don't know what this would be. I don't know what this place would be. What would it be? Also, I know if I'm out in the wilderness trying to survive to the end of days, I'm not going to have connection to any of this stuff. At that point, like, how will you know anything? Like, all these people in these mountains and all these hollers, all they know is when somebody comes down saying, look, there's tanks coming down the road. Like, oh, boys are going to get in position, and it's going to be like the Patriot, It's going to be the real deal. I don't know, man. This is so ominous. I can't put my finger on it, but I feel like something massive is about to happen. I see right through this clearly. And like, it's so crystal clear. It's like a show that's scary. That like, if it's this clear, like something's about to happen. So they're planning another nationwide protest. Okay. This affects us all. When they're paying protesters like George Soros is notorious for doing. And we've caught them, the Dems, just flat out funneling money, especially out of LA, Bass and all them. We've caught them doing so much. Remember, we just caught Newsom himself and his wife making a fake fundraiser site or whatever for fire victims that she was overseeing. They took it down. It disappeared. So they were taking in all this money, and what were they doing with it? Nobody knows. Like, and they're going to get away with it. It's mafia. Meaningless pawn. Welcome to the underground. Yeah, 10:15. All right. Much love to everybody coming in. Welcome. Want to thank anyone that shares the show. Gets it out there in front of eyes I can't reach. Thank you for any of the super chats, any coffees, any stuff like that. So I appreciate it to the fullest. Dabu7@yahoo.com if you got anything to get to me. And for those that are subscribed, make sure you check that bell notification as well. Just do it, please. Stop and go and check it. You might be surprised. I get my own mods telling me they've been unsubbed and all this other crazy stuff all the time. Much love, Etch. And like, nobody gets my notifications, it seems. Like, even us here on my own devices here at the house, like for me going live tonight, it won't show up till like, if it ever shows up, it won't be till at least tomorrow afternoon or days later. All the time. Somebody would say, oh, it's got to get an alert that you went live. Oh, and they'll see the date. Yeah. Twilight, much love. Hobson. All right, so let's talk about the DC takeover. If you missed the details on that, Trump has authority in DC, unlike he has in other places. It's a federal district to begin with. It's not a state. So, under the Home Rule Act, he can seize control of the police and the National Guard and all this other stuff, which is what he's done. He can also, under certain emergency situations, send in the National Guard in the states under certain circumstances, but that largely falls on the governor. This is why Newsom is suing him right now. With the whole ordeal out of California, it went down in June. Protests broke loose. Trump sent in military. Now, this is where it gets dicey here, because he's allowed to use the National Guard to do certain things under absolute emergency. He has to declare that emergency. He will. This is a precedent that declared a national emergency day one about the southern border and the cartels, which we're about to get to, which is about to fire up, which you haven't seen nothing with it for the first 6 months, but on day one, we were in a national emergency of it. Like, how many national emergencies can you be under? They all end up meaning the same thing in the end, that they have all the rule, all the power, what they say goes, and that's it, and they can seize control of everything. Just look at the NDAA. Under an all-out authority move like that, they can take every drop of water in this country. Out of every lake, people asleep, man, on what they can do after one big event here. So the stage is set for it, and Trump's just the man to clamp down. He wants it all. Yeah, martial law. You were getting it all on Trump's watch. Everything we ever warned you of. And MAGA, again, under a spell. They've got the whole border clamped down like we warned you about Jade Helm. We told you they were going to focus on the border, all the border states, and the camps would go up along it. That's exactly what has happened under the guise of trying to get these migrants out that they brought in. Do you see the trick now? Do you? Do you really? Do you? How many different ways do I got to put it to get it to soak into people's head? This is a setup from Jump Street, always has been. It's been all the way, even it goes back to Obama, man, when he came in and dismantled the southern border. I mean, I've been doing this for so long that I've watched it all unravel. I've watched it progress. I've watched him come in and take down all the aerostats. We used to have these huge, big aerostat balloons, if you guys don't know, all across our border, all across the place. We've got them in other areas. Obama came down and took them down en masse. We had towers that they dismantled and took down, took the men out of, all of it. They broke it down. And it was his vice president, Joe Biden at the time, that started the whole thing. He went down South America and he told a bunch of people down there, sure, you can go to America, you can get it. And that's when they started riding up on the top of trains. Do you remember all that? All right, that's when it began. Okay, I've watched it every step of the way. Okay, so I truly have watched this for like 2 decades unravel all this on a daily basis, man. Like, the world is a stage. Truly, it is. It's all scripted, all this, every bit of this. So they can have the upper hand. And it's been about fooling the people. An election really does them a lot of good because it divides the people. And in terms of this last one, it really did get a large portion corralled into one area, which is all they're looking for. And they did that. They did that. They were successful doing that. Well, I'll give them that. And when you look back at it, you can see that it was an obvious trap. You can see that what they've done. They put in the obvious fraud, Biden, to make you want Trump, obviously. Because life wasn't bad last time under Trump. They made sure the first time it was a lot cleaner. This is a whole different animal with Trump this time in terms of all the fronts. we're gonna see. Well, go back to Trump. Really, the worst thing that popped off during his whole administration was it all began at the end on his watch. Operation Warp Speed. It sure did. It started on his watch. So really, that was the big thing. He overseen it, got it started, handed it off. Then Biden, when Biden got in there, it took away from. I mean, Trump was at the end there, so it was like when we got stuck with Biden. I don't know. No, like people did nothing. Like everybody knew. Like we've been had, but like still, no one did nothing. Patriots, if you want to call it that, sat there, said we're gonna wait this out for 4 years, and sat there and like waited till the next election, and like Trump's in there now, and everything we know with Epstein and the pedos. Like I don't know. I can't. This is where the buck stops for me, man. We get to the pedos. There's so many people that I associate with that out here in this realm that like I'm about to like. I'm not gonna say go to war with, but like I'm not gonna be friends with them more because, and I've been like just kind of like, whenever the day presents itself that I'm gonna deal with it, I'm gonna deal with it, but. I don't need to have these people around me, and they need to be called out. And they need to be called out in the open in front of everyone where everyone can see it. It's not going to be pretty. Who else has got the kahunas to do it? These are supposed to be the saviors, the patriots, and they're over here bitching out to the beast. They truly are. They're rubbing elbows with the beast. They don't want to lose everything that they've built up with MAGA. That's the truth of it. So they'll protect pedos. Literally. That's where we're at with this. That's where we're at. This was a huge litmus test. Anyone that's still on the Trump train, you're a pedo protector. Clearly. You don't seem to care about that. That is disturbing to me. So I'm just putting it out there in the open, like as much as possible, and just trying to give everyone a fair chance to like, look, you better jump ship because as soon as these barrels start blazing, we spare no one. The truth spares no one. Okay. David, thank you. John 3:16, yes. You got that right. Everlasting life. Everlasting life. And I put that in our song, Say a Prayer. Somebody earlier said Tabu 7 used to make music. Yeah, well, we still do. We just I put out music every year, all the time. Got singles on the channel. Just look it up. You'll find it. It's censored too, probably. But, yeah. I'm trying to find something here. Okay, this. It says, opponents say Trump's proposed federal takeover of NYC would be unconstitutional, but that's not necessarily true. And it's like, oh yeah? Okay. So let me read off what this is explaining right here. Okay. It says whether a New York takeover would be unconstitutional depends on how the term takeover is defined. The federal government has broad powers and it can legally exercise them. And what this basically says in a nutshell, I'll sum it up real quick, okay, is that Trump can do whatever he wants to do first. Okay? Doesn't matter about a law, loophole, and I want everyone to realize that right now because he just exercised it. He just did it in California. He will go and do whatever he wants to do first, and they will hash the rest of it out later in court. Dude, that is scary. That is tyrannical. That is do whatever you want to do. And what, weeks, months, years later, if everything's in chaos, it gets to court and like, is it going to matter by then? Like, so what he did is protest broke broke loose, and we knew it. It was all staged chaos down there. It's some organic. It just got crazy. So they sent in to protest police. And that was the National Guard. Why? Because I guess the police suck. The police can't do it nowhere, right? They can't seem to check it, stop it, or do anything else. I mean, what's the difference? National Guard coming in is what? Honestly, what is the difference? Tell me the difference. All right. It's not like these guys, any one of them are opening rounds on people, shooting. It's not happening. Okay. So put the big guns away and talk machine guns on. That doesn't matter. But the script, like, what is it? What, I don't get it. Like, how come they can do something cops can't do with the badge? I just don't get it. Huh? It's a setup. When your police can't do it, you're begging the feds to come in. And I'm totally against anyone taking control of your state's National Guard troops ever at any time. That's your last line of defense. And you're going to tell me the enemy come and just take them over at any time, tell them what to do? People better pull their head out of their ass on this one. Like, I'm serious. Like, you better stop being afraid to point the finger of where the enemy and the beast is at. All right? And make it clear. Okay? This tyrannical beast is coming for everyone. Remember what they just tried to slip in with that AI into that bill? Oh, gosh, if they would have passed that, it would have accelerated all this. So Trump, it explains right here, has the power in certain situations, like in California, to send in the military. Especially if it stops him from exercising the laws of the United States. He can declare it an insurrection. There's that insurrection, huh? So, what is being fought now in the court with California and Trump over this whole thing is if the governor has the right to control these troops or Trump ultimately. You see, so it is a big ordeal. Now, let me expand on that a little bit further here. In Southern California, he sent the Marines in. Which is not the National Guard. It was a mixed bunch. Marines and National Guard. All working in tandem, doing all the policing stuff. Again, that the police should be doing. Again, what are they? Got special powers or something? Like literally? Like superhuman or something? Like how can they handle these crowds? Like, again, they're not shooting them. It's not the weaponry. Like, what is it? Like, these police stations have been given everything. APCs, all the non-lethals you can think of, everything. They got the manpower down there. They can call in other police stations. I mean, I would advise the state before ever turning to the feds, because this is a trap. It's like problem, reaction, solution, if you see it large scale. So sending the feds in is not the answer. And especially your boys. They're snatching up your boys to do it. Like, get out of here. Like, are you kidding me? Like, your National Guard troops are your last line of freaking defense. That's who should be fighting against them. Who else you got? Who else do you got? You sure so don't have the freaking Patriots. Who else do you have? You have nothing. Your sons, daughters, cousins, all this, they're in the National Guard. They go to work all the time and then go every other week, once a month to National Guard, blah, blah, blah. Those, you're telling me that they're going to use them against you? Like, people, you better wake up. Like, and start having some long talks with family members that are in the Guard and everything else about what is going down here. And we have nothing. We have no line of defense. I mean, at this point, you have to be the change that you seek. And at this point, with no cavalry showing up, with no real patriots out here. No big militia group here. No nothing outside of satanic MAGA. We're screwed. It's really not funny. It's treasonous. And a bunch of these people should be getting... Man, if there was just a couple players out here with money, they had money to make some things happen. Like, some cats out here don't have a problem, like, riding and, like, putting their life on the line. It's just, what's it worth if you can't make the right moves? And, like, it is what it is. At this point, everybody's on their own. Like, and again, this is a huge threat. If you're just going to sit there and this go, like, you have a son, do you have a family member, a cousin, a nephew, somebody in the family that's in the National Guard or something locally, and like all of a sudden this comes down to you, like, you're pure blood, right? You pride yourself on saying that, right? And being that, right? But all of a sudden, like, lockdowns, they're using your National Guard against you to go door to door, to go to all these places. They're using those same boys. And it's guess what? Your family members and friends are in that mix. How's this really going to go down? How's this really going to go down? I'm telling you, there's going to be fracturing all over the place because some are not going to have it. Some are not going to turn on other people. And some are going to go in and do like young green military dudes all across the globe always do. They're going to take orders and they're going to do things that they shouldn't do immorally. And they're going to do it. So, I'm telling you, some long talks are going to have to be had here. Like, tribulation to me is when you're getting tested to the core, to death, basically, by the beast, with all these things. And what's crazy is that we're just an event or so, big event or so away from this going down. So that, you know, this comes down to the states really wanting to stay free and seeing what's going on here. Ah, man, you always wondered how they were going to rip this place apart. Well, it seems that they're targeting right now all the dim cities, the blue cities, the sanctuary cities. It starts with D.C. He's already called out. He already sent troops to Los Angeles. So he's called out NYC, Baltimore, Chicago. And he said it adamantly, we're not going to have it. We're not going to have them take our cities. We're taking them back. And so there's a plan here. This guy's got years on the clock as president here. And this thing's a show. A straight up show. So let's jump into some more of the theatrics here. Hunter Biden, pedo criminal cat out here, got, you know, the Finger Lakes tattoo on his back that's connected to trafficking networks and all this other stuff. We go on and on. You guys already know about this guy. But he rejects Melania's lawsuit thing here. Like, he said in a clip that Michael Wolff, he was citing Michael Wolff, stating that Melania met Trump through Epstein. And he was saying that he was giving a source. And she came out real quick like, yeah, screw that. Like, I'm going to hit you with $1 billion lawsuit. Like, $1 billion, really? For some words. So he's asked about it. And he basically says, F that. That's not going to happen. And like spits in their face, like, more of the show. I don't know, something about her looks, man, like alien. I don't know, man. These creeps. They're amongst us. Anyhow, I'm gonna play this clip so you can see.
Ladies and gentlemen, the day of presidential litigation has arrived. It's lawsuit time. In my hand is a legal demand letter addressed to Mr. Hunter Biden from the First Lady of the United States, demanding a retraction of Channel 5's video called Hunter Biden Returns, in which Mr. Biden here makes some speculative comments about the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein, Melania Trump, and Donald Trump.
Okay, well, they knew each other well. They spent an enormous time together. According to his biographer, is that Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania. That's how Melania and the First Lady and the President met.
Really?
Yeah.
Epstein made the intro.
Yeah, according to Michael Wolff.
Yeah.
And so I only can go by what people are saying, and I don't know.
He didn't make these claims out of nowhere. They come from another journalist named Michael Wolff, who is a biographer that actually spoke to Jeffrey Epstein. But now here we are. And I've got $1 billion document in my hands because Mrs. Trump is seeking $1 billion in damages if we don't take the video down. And if Hunter here doesn't issue a formal apology to Mrs. Trump.
So I got to say this real quick. Why did she not go after Michael Wolff?
Now we're here maybe to give you the platform to apologize to the First Lady for your statements that you made about her possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
Fuck that. That's not going to happen.
Fuck black, fuck quack, fuck Eddie, fuck fat, fuck lows, fuck Scott, fuck Spad.
What the? I didn't know it did that. Sorry for the F-bombs there, and that was ridiculous, but why? All right, so look, I try to not, it's hard to do sometimes, right? But I try not to show like bias. I try to be fair and balanced in all this, like remove the fact that this is like Hunter Biden and this guy's saying all this. What he's saying though is that, look, I'm deriving this information from Michael Wolff. If Michael Wolff is the source of the information, I mean, how can she sue Hunter for making the statement citing a source? She needs to go after the source. And she hasn't. And I just find that crazy. It's like a direct at him. And, you know, he laughs it off and says, you know, F that. But why? Why does he laugh it off and say F that? Because he's citing somebody else, and he even tells you who he's citing. I crazy. I mean, he has a defense there. That's why I think it's easy for him to say F that, because he's just like, look, I'm just saying what this other guy said, and exactly what he said. He's like, all I can do is go off what people said. That's what was said. So, what kind of retraction are you going to expect from him at this point? Like he explained it clearly. You know, I think, sadly that's him, but I think he did. And it goes back to Michael Wolff. If I'm an investigator, this is what I'm looking for. Take all the other glitz and glamour away. I want the hardcore facts and details here. Give me the root of the information. That's Michael Wolff. So I'm raising this question all day long. Why has Melania not even approached or said anything to Wolff? Why she not slapped him with the $1 billion? I ain't seen that in the headlines yet. Not at all. I ain't seen an interview on him. I haven't seen nothing. Why not? Why not? Why not? It's a fair question. It's all a show. Remember that. They're playing a part here. They're playing a part here. Okay? All right. Bill Clinton is the prime suspect, remember, in the upcoming Epstein investigation. They're supposed to go in there in a deposition October 14th. Remember, Comer said this on the last show. If you guys missed this, it's exactly what he said. He says he is the prime suspect. Bill Clinton named as the prime suspect. And they're going to be asking questions. This is as close as you would see anything get. But that just tells me again, like a 9/11 is about to happen. Like something crazy is about to happen to cover the tracks here of the whole team. Now, or not, or Trump could just like let him go. Some would say he would never let him go. You're about to get another example of how wrong you are. This is the same Donald Trump that ran Hillary for president never put her in prison. Never put her in prison. She talked so much crap after all this and all that. She was front and center when he was inaugurated. Sure was. The people are getting played like fools, like a fiddle. You think that they're going to arrest them. Why weren't they arrested then right there front and center for the whole world to see? See, if it was really the way it was supposed to be, people make it out to be, MAGA makes it out to be, everyone's going to get arrested. That's what would have happened. Bill Clinton, all them, the whole front row would have been arrested for treason right there when he, for this day of inauguration. That's how a real big dog would do it. That's how a real justice bringer would do it. But no, you got fake Chumpy here. And like they all cheered and clapped him on, and they all went him to have dinner and all this, I'm sure, afterwards behind the curtain. There are cult ceremonies. Yeah, they were right there front and center. So I'm going to expand on that. Bear with me here, because you're about to see another example of this whole thing's a stage. And like at some point, people like, you're just getting pie in the face. What do we have here? Shocker. Hillary Clinton drops a bombshell that she would nominate Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize if he ends the Russian-Ukraine war. Really? All of a sudden, the Clinton cartel, this lovey-dovey Trump, like all of a sudden again, if he can do this, vote him in. Oh, really? Really? Again, this is supposed to be Hillary for president. This is a Bill Clinton that's the prime suspect in the Epstein file. I just told you this. Comer just told you this. But Trump says it's all a hoax. Really? Dude, I'm so sick of this. This is garbage. So they're friends. They always have been. And everyone's been played. They haven't been bitter rivals. It's all for the cameras. So I'll play two clips here. First is her, and then I'm going to play his response to finding this out. And you're just going to see how much everybody's been getting played in all this.
If President Trump were the architect of that, I'd nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize.
We are on the precipice of a meeting between President Trump and President Putin in Alaska. Drawing on your experience as Secretary of State, if you were en route to Alaska, what would you be looking to get? What does an acceptable deal look like?
He is not meeting with a friend. He is meeting with an adversary, and an adversary who wants to see the destruction of the United States and the Western alliance. But if he could bring about the end to this terrible war, where Putin is the aggressor, invading a neighbor country, trying to change the borders, if he could end it without putting Ukraine in a position where it had to concede its territory to the aggressor, had to, in a way, validate Putin's vision of greater Russia, but instead could really stand up to Putin to make it clear there must be a ceasefire, there will be no exchange of territory, and that over a period of time, Putin should be actually withdrawing from the territory he seized in order to demonstrate good faith efforts, let us say, not to threaten European security. If President Trump were the architect of that, I'd nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, that's all garbage. I don't see none of that happening. First off, I don't see Russia giving up anything. Anything that they fought for, they're not giving up. They're not going to. They're not going to pull anything back. Some of these areas were like destined. Like I told you a long time ago, Luhansk, Donetsk, Kherson, all those areas, the eastern flank of Ukraine, we knew ever since the Obama era, like these were hot zones. And Crimea, obviously. Crimea being of the hottest. But like, they're never giving up Crimea. Like, they're never like that she was like super demandful there of like all this, and that was she I could see her not voting for him in the end, just simply because the peace deal here is going to have to be between Zelensky and Putin, and if they can't hammer it out this time, I don't know what's going to happen. I see Zelensky as being a huge problem. He's got to go. I would like have him arrested like immediately or something. Like Trump's trying to say he's trying to get the credit for all this stuff, but at the same time he's saying, look, like today with this meeting, like they have a tentative agreement, but Zelensky's got to agree to it. Like Ukraine's got to agree to everything that they agreed on. So let me play the response to this right here, so you can see.
So if you were to paint a picture of what perfect looks like coming out of Alaska today, what does that look like in your mind?
Look, it's not for me to negotiate a deal for Ukraine, but I can certainly set the table to negotiate the deal. And our next meeting will have President Zelensky and President Putin and probably me. I'd like to focus on doing our country, but I get these interruptions. I've solved 6 wars in 6 months when you think about it.
Listen,
and that's from Pakistan to India. That was going to be a terrible one. Planes being shot down. That was getting ready to flare, and then nuclear powers. And so many others. And
Armenia, Azerbaijan, Congo, Rwanda. In fact, did you see that Hillary Clinton yesterday said that if you got this deal done and not capitulate to Putin, that she would nominate you for the Nobel Peace Prize?
If President Trump were the architect of that, I'd nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, that was very nice. I may have to start liking her again.
What? Here's an old song that pops into my head. Old hip hop song when I was younger. It says, you know that you've been played. Yep, you've been played. Get out my face. You've been played. And if you can't tell you've been played, anyone out there that believes in this crap, Trump and all this Mac crap, yeah, there's no hope for you. Again, Hillary for president never happened, and like there you go. Like she should be like they're getting ready to go on trial or get questioned about Epstein and all this stuff. Like, what does it matter when the sitting president is protecting pedos? What does it matter? He don't care. He's calling the whole thing a hoax. What does it matter then? Right? He might have to like her again, and all this. Oh, really? Like this whole thing's a sham. Like, what about Hillary for president, fool? He's a liar. He's a liar. Two-faced. And did you hear what he said? I've solved 6 wars in 6 months. That's all this SOB cares about is the accolades. That's all he wants. It's Nobel Peace Prize. He wants the accolades. Gentile Messiah. It's all he wants. It's all they're setting him up to do. That's all they're setting him up to do, is to take credit for it. He didn't really solve this crap in any of the country. It's like they just like flew him into the situation, stuck him in the middle of the situation for a brief moment, and said, "Oh yeah, Trump solved it." Leaders shake hands and it's like, get out of here. Like this is all set up for the Gentile Messiah. Can you not see what they're doing? He just said it, man. Solved 6 wars in 6 months. Dude, like some of us ain't stupid out here. We can see what they're doing with all this. Bone score. Bond score. I always say bone score, don't I? Much love. You got that right. Much love for always being there. I appreciate that. This place is crazy. Nobel Peace crap. I'm convinced that this guy is the most prolific individual, selected by design individual of our life, of the day, is Donald Trump. No one has ever been dubbed, especially by the Jews, a Gentile Messiah, a Prince of Peace, gave him a silver crown. Look what they're doing. They're making sure history, when you look back and you read it, they're making sure history, the history book will show this. Do you see? It's clear to me. It's clear. It's clear. Any of the situations. He's the man. He's the chosen one by them. They even said it. The rabbi said it. He is going to give everything over to their Messiah that's going to sit in the third temple, which I'm about to tear into here in a minute on some stuff that's going to blow your mind. Trump ties into all this big. So this is a huge mafia. Hillary's protected. Bill's protected, and he's of the bloodline. Any of the guys that are of the bloodline are all instantly protected. And Trump is already on record here recently, even saying that I don't think I should go after Hillary because, she's the wife of a former president, and he won't go after or touch anything. Biden should be in jail right now for everything they came out and told you, the trillions of dollars stolen underneath them. All the fraudulent stuff that we know, he should be in cuffs, awaiting trial and all. It won't happen. People getting played, man. Left-right paradigm, illusion of choice, Hegelian dialect at its finest. I'm just glad that you guys see it. Glad you guys see it. It's not just me. Because that would drive somebody mad. You seen all this, nobody was listening, yeah, well, at least you guys get it. So none of these crooks are going to jail. It's all a play. It's all a lie. It's all a scam. That's the fact. Now what do we do? Yeah, that's the hard one. Because ain't nobody going to say nothing. Ain't nobody going to do nothing. No one's in the even game plan come up with nothing. Somebody smart. They're saving themselves, their families, and all this is doing something. We've been played. We've been sold out. You know it. And you're going to put trust and faith in the system blindly? Seriously. That everything's going to work itself out, be all right and okay. Seriously? Seriously? They have something very bad coming. And when it comes to this Ukraine thing, again, the biggest takeaway from this is that even if they agreed on a lot. They tentatively agreed on a ceasefire, but it doesn't matter until this next meeting involving Zelensky, and Zelensky's going to have to accept it. And I'm telling you, a lot of this is going to come down to giving up territory in Ukraine. Zelensky's going to have to accept it. They're going to have to give away something. Period. At least this eastern flank, in my opinion, I do not see Russia backing off. Maybe in some certain instances, they may give some small territories, areas back, but I doubt that. Maybe some small ones, but I just don't see it. Just yesterday, they made the biggest single-day gains of the war. So right before the meeting, they made the biggest gains yet of the war. Why would they stop? When just 2 nights ago, Zelensky was nailing them with drones again, like an idiot. we said this before. If you want to show that you're serious about peace, then you've got to really show. So this is why they're not stopping. Because last time they tried this, Zelensky did it again. He thought he'd be cute and sucker punch them and send drones in and hit all these places. And they were like, all right, no, we're not stopping. Like, all you wanted to do is buy time to regroup and everything else. And like, we're not. We're just going to stomp you out now. And that's what they did. I'll give Russia that. They weren't playing no games. They went in. They've been laying it down. Unfortunately, innocent young men have been dying, and women have been dying on the front lines left and right. It's sickening. Sickening. I seen a clip today of a drone, HD, flew right into a whole pack of guys. Killed them all. Broad daylight. One drone. Are you ready for that? America's not. America's going to get its ass handed to them. They are not even prepared. Maybe some of you, some of the remnant, but like not anybody else. They're not going to know what to do. These drones are already spying on them in cities. When they're used as weapons like they are right now on the front lines, large scale, like you won't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance. And because they're asleep on this, they're not paying attention to any of this Ukraine stuff, like nothing. They're just living in their own little world. This is going to shell shock them. Like, people should be like watching videos right now, learning how to take down drones out of the sky, survival stuff, all this stuff, man. Late into the early morning hours, every night, every single night, you should be thirsty for knowledge all night long. Seriously, man. Because it's about to end. The falsehood of knowledge, having access to the internet and all this other stuff, it's about to be locked down, so to speak, after some events. You're going to have, especially by a certain time frame. 2030, it's coming up fast anyway, top of the hour. Let's fill Dobbs coffee and super chats. Hey, Steve, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the comment, for the love, support. Damn, time just flies by. So 2 hours down. And I'll jump into the last couple segments here of the show, which it dives into some huge stuff. Absolutely huge stuff. Save the best for last. For tonight, and we've got, I want to point out, 20,000 people arrested in Iran just on suspicion of espionage during the war with Israel. So 20,000 people swooped up because they're that paranoid, think everybody's working with Israel. Okay. A quick update for my cats in the UK. The British people have had enough. In a striking display of public discontent, close to 750,000 people at the time of writing had signed an official parliamentary petition demanding the immediate general election to be held in the UK. They want the Starmer dude out. Like, that. There's not as many people in the UK by far, but I mean, that's a big mass of people. 750,000. When you get them together, one place, one time, like, I try it here. You know how many times they've said million men march in DC, and I've even gone up there. Truckers, Anons, all this crap, and like, a couple dozen people show up. Like, this has been a joke. It's there is no freedom network. There is no freedom nothing in this country. Again, everybody's like on their own. Bunch of fake patriots on the MAGA train. If not, I mean, there's some cats out there making moves. Want to make some moves? Let me know. I'm always open. I'm always down for meetups and all this other stuff. But again, nobody ever comes with nothing. Or I'd be telling you, like, hey, we're going here, doing that. But everybody's like, didn't care, or they're scared shitless. And I don't know, man. In the end, that's why this place falls apart, man. It's sad. It's absolutely sad. Can't even tell you where some good old boys this weekend are mounting up, doing some training, shooting some guns, training some young bucks on how to fight against it. Can't tell you of a single place. It's pathetic. That's why this country dies. Cats that went to war and died in wars in other countries for our freedom, for our rights, are turning over in their graves because people are not even putting up a fight here. People took an oath to serve and protect this place against threats foreign and domestic. And don't no one want to act like he did it. You know where the threat's at. No one wants to be legendary, man, it seems. Salutes to everyone that is. Salutes to everyone that checks out riding against the beast. I salute you to the end. Remember, it's the same beast that killed Jesus, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Peter, all of them. Murdered everyone that you know of. Wiped everybody out. This beast did. Okay? So, yeah. It's sustaining all the way. It's enduring all the way to the end. That's what this is about. It's about to get crazy. I've done everything in your power to get ready for this. People got a means out right now. The kid could have done bought things, stock coverage, done all these extra things because they got the means, and they ain't doing it. They ain't doing it. Meantime, a war is about to break loose here, and I mean it, a real war. For the first time in your life, like you're gonna see car bombings, you're gonna see like massive assaults, you're gonna see the cartels busting back, you're gonna see the enemy, the other side fighting back, because it's gonna begin. Again, I take you back to day one of the Trump administration, Trump regime. What'd he do? He said we're under national emergency. Why? Because he designated the cartels as terrorists and, the enemy. They went down, they fortified, secured the border, like over 2/3 of the border is now militarized, clamped it down, locked it down, have camps set up that's largely just sitting there because all these illegals are being shipped straight out, going to destinations straight out from wherever. So it's militarized with camps sitting there. All of a sudden, Trump just put on the books, we're going to start rounding Americans up, starting with the homeless, right? The small-minded think it's just people on drugs or something, but they're stupid. He said homeless, period, not just people that are on drugs. They're going to send them to certain facilities. And I've said it a million times. Where do you send someone? What kind of facility do you send someone to that's just poor? You're going to bulldoze and bobcat this dude's whole site? He's not on meth. He's not on nothing. He's just homeless. He actually works a 9 to 5 all week. How dare you? Like what? Like what? What do you do with all the stuff? Throwing it away? So you just made the situation worse for the individual. And now you're going to take him to some mystery facility. Well, just wait till I see one of these facilities. I can't wait. Like, somebody tell me. You tell me if you find one of these facilities. Anyone, anywhere. If you find one of these facilities where they're taking the homeless, please let me know. It is actually at the top of the list right now. We need eyes on it, cameras on it, investigation on it, into these places, what's going down, what's really happening, everything, where people are being taken to. If they're being rounded up, people are like, oh, it's just the homeless, screw them. Like, dude, people need a smack in the face with a stick. Like, don't care about nothing. Don't care about nothing. This country, the homeless, like anything. That's why we're screwed. The war pops off. If cyber trucks start to be used left and right, I'm just saying, because they're bulletproof. People ain't even ready. I hope you're ready. People by and large are not going to be ready. It's going to turn into some chaos. So check this out. The U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drone flies a rare drug cartel hunting mission into Mexico. So it begins. But telling you, they got warships off the coast down off Baja. They've been running Reaper drones back and forth right on the drone. Now they're diving down into Mexico. And they're hunting them. So, any moment, in any day now, you're going to wake up and you're going to see headlines of something crazy having to do with all this. It's going to be blowback. It's going to be repercussions. And this is a war. And a war doesn't just stop. It continues. It keeps going. This is going to be continuous. All throughout the rest of this administration, it could be forever. It's going to be ongoing. Until there's only one thing that I see stopping all this. The grand show, like Bluebeam, something coming in from the heavens, or them releasing something super deadly, where they lock the place down cold. Those two things, those are the two big cards on the table. You still got an EMP or shut the economy down. You still got those big cards out there. Yeah, you got those. All right, but there ain't nothing that tops those. That tops pretty much in that order. The lower rung would be, lockdowns, a real pandemic. Top is going to be like them faking the end here or something crazy. The way I see it, they're going to turn the whole world against the Most High. I mean, that's exactly what it's set to do. You're going to turn the whole world, every tank, every person, every gun against a threat that's going to come to liquidate us all. It's going to be the Almighty, the Most High. And like they're literally going to have every gun on the planet, every person against what's coming. And it's going to be judgment. Bring it. Light this place up. I care not. So let me get to the biggest story of the night. That's right. The biggest story of the night. As I look down and I see 1111 watching now. Let me pull up my Twitter because I have to pull up a video here real quick. Yeah, Walmart, TNF, and much love and thank you, brother. Yeah, Walmart's turned into camps easily. We've talked about this for years, but they wanted to say it was just conspiracy. I've got also another update here. If you guys don't follow me on X, this goes right into the hands of all this. Fairchild Air Force Base is undergoing a no-notice. This is a no-notice power outage exercise. Kind of ominous. No notice, no warnings. This is part of a DoD-mandated energy resilience exercise designed to test the installation on their response to a base-wide power outage and mission sustainment. As a result, much of Fairchild Air Force Base, which is in Washington State, will not be reachable by ordinary means at this time. The power will be out for approximately 24 to 48 hours. Per the wing commander's direction, all units and personnel are instructed to continue to execute their mission at the regular work centers at the best of their ability. Base housing should not be impacted by the exercise. If you experience an emergency, call 911. Apparently that all works. So out of nowhere, they have this crazy no-notice lights out exercise where they're in the dark right now. And I think it's worth noting, dude. What did Lindsey Graham just say? That we were going to be put out. Our lights are going to get put out or something, the way he put it. They're telegraphing something. Big time. Where is this? There it is. All right, I got it. All right, so
this was a bit.
I'm going to play this clip that is shared over here. I did a video, and I dropped the video on this. And this is a huge update. Okay? This brings everything full circle. Okay? I'm going to explain some things in terms of prophecy, end time, the third temple, the red heifer, everything. And I'm gonna lay it out there clear. And thank you, D. for the video that you just sent me. That I watched. It ties in all this. Oh man, like we're there. This is it. This is time. Okay, this is time. Much love, you guys. I see the 11-11, 7-11, 9-11 is rolling out. This is huge. I told you that we were told they did the red heifer sacrifice and that it was a mock run. That it was not the real deal. We were lied to. We were lied to. And they're openly admitting it now. They're telling the truth. That it was the real ceremony, all the details, even showing the ashes. They're going over all of it. They lied to the world. And the excuse was because it was catching so much flack. They used deception in this ritual, full scale. The red heifer was burned. All the details down to the cow's name, down to all of it. How many gallons of ash that they're performing miracles right now with the ash from it. You can't do that with cow that doesn't qualify. Healed the blind. Miracles are happening with it. And this ash has to be made and is used to clean the temple mount, before the temple can be built, to clean all of it. Every stone, everything. There's like 10,000 gallons made of this. The guy holds up a dime bag. Okay, this guy, Adam King, exposes all this. Just came out and just said, yeah, we lied to everybody. Pretty much. And that it was all real. And gave all the details. And this is why in the past couple weeks I've told you and shown you that these Israeli cats were running up on Temple Mount, laying down, doing rituals, and casting spells. They're ready. It's about to happen. It is about to happen. Okay? They lied about all this. So check this out. Before I show the whole video here on that, I want to preface this and get you caught up to speed with the history here. The late Lubavitcher Rebbe literally, it was caught on video, told Benjamin Netanyahu 30 freaking years ago that he would be the one to hand the scepter to the Messiah, to their Messiah, because they don't believe in Jesus. Okay? Okay? Let's make that clear right now. So this is a whole different individual that's here right now, alive and breathing, that is performing miracles right now. I've warned you and I told you. I've told you and I told you and I told you. The Torah genius, the Yanuka. He is on the shekel. He is here right now performing miracles. He is the one. It's not a secret. It is known. I've said this time and time again, but people live under a freaking rock. This same group of people that wear cubes on their head control Trump, control J.D. Vance. They have dubbed Trump the Gentile Messiah and say that he will hand over the United States and the power and the reign to their Messiah that will set in this third temple that's about to be built. That's what this is all about, where this is going. So Rebbe here said on camera, told Netanyahu that you're not doing enough. You need to hasten. You need to hasten that the Messiah's not here. You need to do something to get hasten his appearance and all this. And way younger Netanyahu right here in this clip agrees, and it's like, yes. And he says, you will hand the scepter to him. This is the prophecy. Netanyahu just came out this week, and said that he is on a spiritual mission. And he said he believes in the greater Israel. He said it. I showed you on the end of the last stream. It's no longer a secret. He's got Lebanon on there. He's got Jordan on there. He's got half of Saudi Arabia on there. Going into Turkey. The whole Sinai. Like, what do you think that they're all thinking? He's coming for all that territory. Okay? It's not just him. It's their Messiah. I'm telling you, this is it. This is it. Okay? Israel Today has the link that shows. You can see it right here on the screen. Where the Rebbe has this video. I'm not going to play because it's a YouTube clip there. But I'm telling you right now, I watched the whole thing. It's not long. He tells him straight to his face, you've got to do more. You got to do more to usher him in. Well, I'm telling you, that guy, this guy's dead on the right now. But their Messiah's here. And like the whole world's about to see it at this point. Okay. Now, I'm going to play the audio here. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to push this over here. I'm going to play this thread right here. Get ready. If you're not sitting down, sit down, because this is a head buster, and this is it. It shows you how deceptive they are of the synagogue of Satan. Okay, that claim they are of but are not. Okay, but what they claim they are, but they are not. Okay, so
big thing over at InfoWars and on the dissident right media for the longest time, the Jew hate media. Yeah, do you have my tweet that I actually put on my? So I basically, what happened, if you want to go to the first slide first before we play the video, about a month ago on July 1st, there was an announcement that they were going to do a practice run of the red heifer. And prior to this, the media outrage that the Jews were going to go do this red heifer, you had like these lunatics like Stu Peters and others who were saying, this is going to usher in the Antichrist, blah, blah, blah. And it was like a real big media balagan. It was really a bad twist. So they said that and also the government wasn't going to let them. So what they did was they said, we're just going to do a practice one with one of the 5 disqualified cows. The government said, okay, whatever. They ended up going out, doing a real cow. One of the cow's name was Tikva. They made the offering, and it was a real offering. They did it all by the laws, and I have with me some of the ashes right here, red heifer ashes, and it's pretty incredible. The red heifer, the last time that the red heifer was done was over 2,000 years ago. The first time it was done by Moses. The second time it was done by Ezra from the book in the Bible. And that shows you how long the ashes can last for. So a pure red heifer doesn't come about all the time. And in this generation, we had 21 of them that were born. Pure. They picked 7 to bring to Israel. And out of the 7, Israel only allowed them to have 5 brought in. And they've been sitting around just doing nothing because the media outrage has been so astronomical about it. But the red heifer people, they fooled everybody, and they successfully performed the ritual about a month ago. Now, in the ritual, I'm
gonna stop it right there. I'm gonna pause so you can see it just fooled everybody. Do you see the concern they had? Because we were talking about it. He mentions Stu Peters, which I think is a prop. I think he's controlled opposition. I think there's something to him that just the vibe's always been off. Anyhow, outside of that, that's just my personal opinion right there. this is clear that they don't like us calling their chosen one here in this instance an antichrist, as he just said Stu Peters was calling it, and everything else, and he seemed to be pissed off. And the fact that everyone was talking about it here was enough to make them deceive us. So again, I just want to point that out. I'm gonna let it roll, but it's from this point that he says they deceived everybody. But you can see here, he has the ashes. He is showing you the ashes. Like, this really happened, man.
Red Heifer people, they fooled everybody, and they successfully performed the ritual about a month ago. Now, in the ritual, you're supposed to have hyssop. I have also hyssop that is from the actual ritual, and also the red heifer ashes. And these get put into a clay jar and then sprinkled on people in a healing ritual. And it removes the impurity of death and allows for people to heal. So since this started, they have been sprinkling on people. There was a man with Alzheimer's who just started remembering everything, sight to the blind. There's some real miracles that have happened in the last month since this thing has gone down. But the ashes, just like I have a little bag, there was 10.5 gallons of ashes. And this is only a dime bag full. And these ashes have been disseminated. They're here to stay. They will never be found. So many people have them. And this little bag can power about 10,000 doses.
Power about, it said that makes it sound like really potent cocaine.
It packs a punch, yeah.
This is the stuff right here,
Test
man.
it for fentanyl.
This is the but we could go smoke this after the show, but no, I'm just kidding. Come back from the dead after you do something like that. But I have a video from the ritual, and if you want to play it, I don't know if you're it has copyrighted music. Can you slide it so people could see the slide? So these are the slides of the actual ceremony being taken place, and that's tikva, and everything was done specifically according to halacha, which is Jewish law.
Mm-hmm.
It was a perfect cow, and meaning that it doesn't have a single hair that is not red. And also, it could never have been burdened with work. So you can't even lean a shovel up against the cow. They have to be treated in a very specific way for their whole life. And then the person who does the ritual can never have been in contact with death.
Listen to this.
So basically, they're not allowed to go to. They have to be of a specific bloodline. And what they do was they raise these children in like these elevated homes above the ground. And they never leave the home until they're ready to do the rituals. And that's like how they never come into contact with death. So the priest who did this literally lived in his home for over 20 years before he...
Never left?
Nope. Because he was born to do this ritual.
Wow.
And now that it's been done, the Messiah can come.
Okay, so this is you're talking about the return of the
Return of the Mac. Here we go.
So this is like the Jewish Messiah is going to come back. Would that be similar? Would that be like the return of Christ, or would it be a different?
Here's the thing: I think the most fundamental difference between Judaism and Christianity is that Judaism actually believes in reincarnation, and so the Messiah is here in every generation. And there's a process by which we are awakened enough to accept the Messiah. So if the Messiah doesn't come, he dies, he's reconstituted, born into the matrix again, and has to find his way back to another thing. We can't build the temple until this happened. And now that this happened, the Messiah can come build the third temple in Jerusalem.
All right, do you see now? Do you see what they believe? Of course, false. Of course, they don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe in Yeshua. Okay, they don't believe in it. They have a different Messiah. Obviously, this is it. This is it. Never, ever have we sat at this point. So they lied to us. The red heifer has been set. The ritual is done. You just heard what he said. Now it can all happen. Now the Messiah can commence. Now the building can begin. Like, dude, it is about to pop off. Like, I wouldn't doubt it if, like, any day, any moment, like, something levels Temple Mount. The dome on the rock at this point, they see as an obstacle, and they're like running up there and doing all the stuff. Carly says that this guy is a liar. You're talking about me. That's Adam King. I mean, if you're gonna say he's a liar, tell me what he's lying about. I'm interested. Yeah, we know everything is false in terms of what they're declaring there, but like the fact that the ritual went, he's not the only one saying this. There's other people that same thing. Other people got video, the whole nine. Everyone's saying it happened. It's real. He showed you the ashes, and you can't perform miracles. And even claim that you can't even. You wouldn't even proceed. They wouldn't even fake that. They wouldn't even do none of that. You wouldn't act like you wouldn't sprinkle this stuff on no one anywhere if it was a trial. And as they said earlier, they don't do trial runs. They don't do it. Like, you do the real deal, and you commence with it. So they lied. Time to get your bags ready. You got that in common, man, brother. He comes like a thief in the night. Let me tell you, this is a crazy time. I told you we're crossing the Rubicon. They pulled this off, and this is it's pretty kind of like it's crazy, man. What is Netanyahu? What, BB's 80 or something? Like, he's like, this is the window. Like, this is it. Like, all these things, like BB's is 8, like Trump's old, like this 3-year window, like this window is nuts. In 2027, all these things have been pointing to things popping off big time by 2027, especially in the open with China and Taiwan. Now Israel, Netanyahu openly stating that he wants all of greater Israel. I mean, he just did that like the past few days, like this week. He may have said it before, but like he openly said it, and like openly the whole nine. And it said that it's a spiritual mission, that it's like he was born to do this. And like, if you watch the clip again that I got right here, the Rebbe tells him that he is going to be the one to hand the scepter to Messiah. So like, this stuff is about to happen. Like, all this is about to commence. Now, man, oh man, I'm going to expand on this, and we're going to dive down the rabbit holes of this, and just the flat out true prophecy in what the scripture says about all these days, all these times. I was as I was just reading, the last thing that I was reading here on the return of Yeshua, of the Most High, is how he will return and come down. And there's going to be a great earthquake. Everything is going to tremble. Everything is going to shake when this happens. So everybody remember that. There's going to be, it is written, an earthquake that the earth has never seen the likes of before. Do you understand that? That's what it says. Okay? So when he touches down, it's set to split the Mount of Olives in 2. And this is the selected place. Mount of Olives, very special. In all this, the Holy Land, and everything with Jerusalem, going to the birthplace of Jesus, and he returns with a sword. He returns with the sword. The scripture also says, "Sell your cloak and go buy a sword." Okay, hope you're ready. So many people make excuses, but I just go right off what the scripture says. We're going to dive into that too, about this whole prophesized return of the real king, which I fear. I feel they fear. They fear what's coming. Whatever's coming out there, regardless if this is the good guys, it's the team or not, with this object coming in Atlas, the Most High is going to appear and come back at some point, somehow, some way, and hey, let it be. Let it be. I'd rather it be. I'd rather it all be about to go down like full scale, man. Like, I'm just ready. I see so much evil here. It needs wiped out. It needs checked. Needs checked. And I look forward to 1,000 years with the Most High. That's the promise. 1,000 years with righteous ones, with Jesus, with the Most High, new heaven, new earth. Yeah. And that I will survive the second death, which is really the big death. It's everything. It's the death of the soul. Like, the death of the body is just the vessel. So, as they say, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. What's all the energy, the gen? It's all back to the ether after this, right? Until what? You come back in. It was odd. He said his difference, that guy had mentioned about reincarnation and all that. But look, I will tell you that the way that this place is made and designed is like a soul trap. That's why I lean heavily toward all that. And that this is a prison, that the soul doesn't escape. You ain't leaving here, because no one can. And from what it's written, there's a place in the rock for the soul. I don't know where that's at. Raphael explains all that. It's all written again in scripture. They try to keep hidden from you. Book of Enoch. It's all right there. You're born into amniotic fluid, amnesia, amniotic fluid, amnesia, amniotic. You're born into a sack of amnesia fluid. Literally. Wonder why. Yeah. We're all just energy. You got that right, Ada. And energy is forever. That's the beautiful thing. Even if you're not spiritual, you're not religious, and you just think you're a little brainiac and you're smart, you're scientific and all that, then you should know energy cannot be destroyed. It will just change shape or form. That means we are eternal. And that's the beautiful thing about it in the end. Again, I believe in a higher power promising something better if you pass this test. We're put here to master this place. The sad thing is most people are not taught that. They live every day. They do as thou will, like Aleister Crowley would want them to do. They just do whatever you want. If something tempts you, you go with it, and that's garbage. Like, you should be really listening to that gut, that what you call the gut, the inner intuition, like telling you to quit smoking. Like you always like push it off and push it off. Like you need to quit pushing it off. You need to listen and obey. You need to master these things and control them and show that they are not controlling you. The jinn are allowed to tempt you for a reason. Because this is a test. And yes, that's the way this place was apparently designed. It's written that way. It's not a secret. The soul goes somewhere. The jinn are on the other side in the ether right now testing you every day, all the time. It's written. It's right there. If anyone cares again, this isn't a secret. This is how it is said it all is. So, I don't know. I die, I'm going, and I'm sitting in the rock, and I'm waiting for judgment. But hopefully, I get to witness the main show. Like, I really feel like that's the whole point of this. If you're going to be in this life, like, get to ride the chaos out as far as you can to, like, till the Most High touches down. If you can live in the flesh, even if it's your dying breaths, to see that moment, that to me is the ultimate. What tops it? So nothing, no other life would top that. To me. So, I don't know. Get a while of getting is good. Get out there and be righteous every day. Be good. We'll look down, see 11:11 again on watching. And much love to everybody out there. I ask the Most High in heaven to bless all of you that call upon Him. No one's perfect. But strive to be better. Strive to help others. I thank you in advance. I'm telling you and I'm promising you, on the other side, there's a whole team. There's a whole team of good guys. There's a whole team of good guys. That without them, we'd really be smoked. Call them the guardian angels. It's called the team. Home team. They're there. They're real. Just don't lose faith, man. Love one another. It's the best thing that I could say. Somebody's watching everything that we do, and just live to impress. Be conscious that the higher something is watching. It made all this, made us, made every single thing around us. You think something just left it all and disappeared? To our perception, yes, but something's observing every ounce of this. Come on now. Be conscious of it. Awaken. All right, as I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I will see you here next time for some Underground World News Live. I love you. Much love. Hey, thank you, Eon. legendary, and for a reason. I told you before, man, like no one else could even come through, man, but you're always there every stream, amazingly. Every stream. I can't thank you enough. That's why I say you're legendary. Much love, God bless.